The early sunlight cast a warm glow across the city skyline. Vanessa stood confidently at the head of the boardroom table, scanning the room full of top executives. Clad in a tailored black pantsuit and with her dark hair styled in smooth waves, she exuded quiet authority. Her sharp green eyes stayed locked on the group as she prepared to present her new project. She laid out her proposal with precision, anticipating every challenge and backing each point with thorough detail. The executives leaned in not because she demanded their attention, but because she earned it. Vanessa had climbed the corporate ladder through relentless work and wasn't about to let anything slow her down. While many colleagues dreaded the return to office life, Vanessa saw it as a stage to outshine and secure the promotion she was after. Chris, a reserved software developer, was the opposite of Vanessa in almost every way. Quiet and thoughtful, he preferred to stay in the background. Despite that, the two shared mutual respect and often worked well as a team. Though they had similar credentials, Chris often joked that Vanessa ran the show. He admired her focus, even if her intensity sometimes caught him off guard. They exchanged playful banter from time to time, Vanessa teasing that he'd make a decent assistant if she ever needed one, and Chris laughing it off. She had a dominant, take-charge style, and he didn't mind following her lead. During the meeting, Vanessa was grilled with difficult questions. She handled each one with clarity and conviction. By the time it ended, her proposal had full approval. She stepped out of the room, energized and proud. Chris was waiting outside. "Guess that makes it official, you're the boss now," he said with a grin. He had no idea what she had in mind next. Over the following weeks, Vanessa was buried in the project, long hours, endless revisions. She needed help. One afternoon, she turned to Chris. "I need some backup with admin work. Just part-time, basic support tasks." "I already cleared it with the board," she said casually. Chris hesitated. "Look," she added, "I know remote work's been your thing, but it's not sustainable. Management's been noticing. If you're not around the office more, it might become a problem. I'm saying this as a friend." That last part wasn't entirely true. Vanessa just wanted him working closely with her. Chris finally nodded. "All right, fair enough. I'll give it a shot." "Good," she said, amused. Bit of variety never hurt anyone. Soon, Chris took on the part-time support role. It wasn't demanding, scheduling, light paperwork, and helping keep things organized, but it gave Vanessa the breathing room she needed to drive the project forward. Chris found the change surprisingly refreshing. As the weeks passed, he noticed a shift. Vanessa would ask him for small favors, refilling her water, managing calls. Nothing major, but her tone made it clear she expected him to follow through without question. She enjoyed the control, and Chris, while not entirely sure how it happened, fell into the rhythm. Even though Chris worked as the secretary, many people assumed he held a higher position, mostly because of the way he dressed. His suit and tie gave him an air of authority. Vanessa noticed this and decided it was time to make his role more visually clear. One afternoon, she brought a neat blouse with a bow and a pencil skirt to the office. "I think it's time you looked the part," she said. "People keep mistaking you for the boss. This will help clear up the confusion." Chris hesitated, surprised by the suggestion. She added, "It's important to define roles properly at work. This isn't personal, it's just about structure." Reluctantly, Chris agreed. He'd always been cooperative, and Vanessa clearly wasn't in the mood for debate. Besides, she'd joked about seeing his softer side before. The outfit surprisingly fit well. "You actually look great," she said, pleased. "You pull this off better than I thought." Chris wasn't sure how to feel. Wearing feminine clothing was unfamiliar territory. But Vanessa had a sharp eye for fashion, and as his manager, her expectations carried weight. Over time, Chris began to adjust. The discomfort faded, and surprisingly, co-workers responded positively, which helped ease his doubts. What started as a strange request slowly became routine. Chris even found himself thinking differently about his appearance. The change, subtle at first, was growing more natural to him. While he still handled some software development work, Vanessa began referring to him as her go-to IT assistant. "Looks like you're settling into this new role," she said with a sly smile. Chris replied with a quiet, "Yeah, I guess I am. I didn't think I'd be okay with this, but I kind of like how it's going." Vanessa reached into her desk drawer and pulled out a sleek red dress. "You've been doing a great job. I want you to wear this to today's client meeting. It'll make a great impression." She continued, "A tech-savvy woman always stands out, and some clients already assumed as much. This could really benefit our rapport." Chris nodded slowly. "All right. I suppose it's not that big a leap. And you are the boss, after all." "That's the spirit," Vanessa said, grinning. "We just need a few more touches. Your hair's long enough, but it needs a little styling. Maybe a bit of makeup too. Nothing drastic, just a light polish to complete the look." Chris took a breath, unsure where this was heading, but strangely, not resisting either. But Vanessa had much bigger plans. She knew that once Chris agreed, it would be easy to guide him step by step into a softer, more polished version of himself. After lunch, they headed to the mall. Their first stop was a beauty salon, where a cheerful makeup artist greeted them. She asked Chris about what kind of look he had in mind. Though visibly nervous, Chris decided to trust her. As the session began, he sat quietly while she worked. Each brush stroke, each subtle touch of color brought a strange sense of anticipation. Watching himself transform in the mirror, Chris was surprised by the shift. He didn't look like his usual self, something in him felt lighter, freer. Once his makeup and hair were complete, Vanessa took him shopping. Even though he already had the red dress for the upcoming client meeting, she suggested picking out a few more outfits. "I thought this was just a one-time thing," Chris said. Vanessa smiled. "It might be. But if the meeting goes well, there could be follow-ups. Better to be prepared." Chris wasn't convinced, but he followed along. He tried on various clothes, skirts, blouses, dresses, and was surprised at how comfortable he felt. There was no embarrassment or regret, only an odd sense of confidence. People stared as they walked through the mall, but for once, Chris didn't mind. He liked how he looked, and more importantly, how he felt. Back at the office, no one seemed to recognize him right away. There was something familiar about the new person, but nothing obvious. Vanessa watched the reactions and smiled. "I think it's time for a name that fits better," she said. "How about Christine?" Chris nodded. He had come this far, there was no use resisting anymore. And so, Christine emerged, no longer just a developer, but the polished IT specialist and office assistant. The client meeting went smoothly, and her presence made a lasting impression. Soon, she became a regular face in business interactions, helping with presentations and contracts. It was easier for everyone when someone that approachable was in charge of guiding things. Christine began to realize just how much her new role influenced those around her. There was a quiet strength in her presentation, and she knew how to use it wisely. With Vanessa's encouragement, Christine found herself embracing the change more fully each day. The past seemed distant now, what mattered was the confidence she'd gained and the impact she could make. "Don't forget to join me on Patreon for exclusive content,"